Hey there, everybody, it's me, Super Paul Games. Welcome back to Seduce Me, the Otome. And we have sexy James in the room. I stared up at him, surprised, before bringing my hand gently back onto his cheek. Like this? Oh, I hit you. I'm just kidding, you didn't really hit her. I mean, I'm a woman. I didn't, you know what I mean. And running a thumb softly under his eye, because that's the romantic thing, is when someone almost eye gouges you. He looked healthier and a lot less tired than when I saw him in the vision. Something about that made me happy. James gently leaned into my hand, because he was tiny and I could carry him, closing his eye and relaxing. He then smiled slightly, trying to joke.
So, how does it feel to hold the affections of an ex-demon prince?
Ex? Are we breaking up? What? Oh, you're an ex-demon. That's what you meant. We're never breaking up. I stared, feeling my cheeks glow red in surprise and embarrassment, but I smiled and giggled silently. How do you giggle silently? Running my thumb back and forth along his cheek gently. Oh, cheek. I have to say, like, I'm flattered to think you ran away from that life for me. James frowned, making me stop moving my thumb as he stared at me.
I can promise you, that was no life to live.
James, I give you a compliment. You left everything for me, not because you hated that world. But it was like your home.
A home is where you can be yourself, not tied to your duty.
A home is where your dad hits you. James gently ran his hand along my cheek, gingerly outlining the edge of my eye and ear with his thumb.
Home is where all I have to do is care about the ones close to me.
James? Oh. James smiled and gently leaned in, kissing my forehead like, oh man. I felt a small shiver run down my spine from his kiss, noting that he sneakily took some energy from me in that little kiss.
Now, you need to rest. You're not fully recovered. You might as well rest until dinner is ready.
James, you don't get to tell me how to live my life. I'm an independent woman. James smiled and gently pressed me back down onto the bed, leaning his forehead on mine. Headbutt. We're gonna steal a kiss. Out of playful fun, I lifted my head and gently kissed James, softly laying a hand on his cheek to keep his face close. James stared in surprise before kissing me back, caressing my cheek, slightly melting at the touch of our lips. You got seduced, James. The power of my vag compels you. A soft sigh escaped his lips before he slowly pulled away with a smile. He gently licked his lips, making me go red in the face at the simple gesture. He let out a satisfied hum before nuzzling my forehead.
Rest.
And with that, he stood up and left the room, leaving me to rest as per his request. I smiled to myself before relaxing into the mattress. Diana? I suddenly tensed up. I felt majorly uneasy. Something wasn't right. I felt it in my core. She must be here? Ugh. The thought of her in the house infuriated me beyond belief. I had to make sure she was not here. You're not going to take my boy from me, or any of the boys? I rolled out of bed and quickly left my room, wandering the halls and listening closely. She was a demon, but I was listening very intently. There was no way she would have been able to sneak up on me. I know you're here. Like, where are you? I could feel myself growl. It wasn't a matter of fear that she'd take away the boys anymore. Her very existence had lit a fire of rage within my gut, which only grew as each day went by. The feud was getting on my nerves, and I knew it would not end well for one of us. I wasn't going to lose to that demon bitch. Girlfriend, no way.
Diana, what are you doing here?
James, are you talking to Diana? What? My heart stopped. Diana was with James. My mind flew into slow motion, playing fake images of Diana trying to seduce James in my head to further fan the angry flame inside of me. I instinctively followed James' voice and approached the study. The door was open just a crack, wide enough to peek in without being noticed. I peeked inside to see James by the bookshelf with Diana in one of the armchairs looking to him.
Silly man, why do you think I'm here?
To be fairly honest, I don't really care.
I'm hurt, wounded, truly. You don't care that I came to this pathetic little world just for you?
I'm sorry, let me make this clear. You are not welcome here, so I suggest leaving.
Burn, bitch, get the fuck out of my house.
Is that any way to speak to your fiancé?
Diana wasn't his fiancée anymore. Why was she speaking as if the arrangement was still going on?
Our arrangement was broken when I left the Abyssal Plains. You are no longer my fiancé.
What a stubborn man. Just like your father. Well, you should know. He decreed that should you return home, you'll maintain your status and keep your birthright.
James would be the heir again? Why? No, he's my boyfriend now.
I don't want it.
You don't want it. You'd give up the...
I said I don't want my damned birthright. What birthright? It's imprisonment, a life sentence. Am I not allowed to be selfish for once in my lifetime?
Yeah, let James live where he wants to.
It's your reason for your birth. Do you not realize what you have?
I can feel James' anger emanating from the crack in the door, fighting with Diana's tension. Diana and James are both matched, staring at each other down.
I know exactly what I had. That's all behind me. I'm done with that. To hell with my birthright.
To hell with your birthright. You truly think you can decide that? You are the first son of the Demon Lord. You are the heir to the throne, and I am your bride, the next Demon Queen.
Why was Diana so desperate? You're desperate, girl, because you can't get none. It irked me to see how desperate she was to get James to return.
Raystrau, you...
All of a sudden, James ran at Diana and pinned her to the floor by the neck. I felt the need to jump in, but I knew James wasn't trying to do anything romantic. He won it. His voice sent shivers down my spine as they continued to speak with his hand at her throat.
And what gives you the right to use my name like that? Only demons of the same blood are permitted to use each other's true names.
When our families arranged our marriage, I was given permission to use your name as mine. That's what you are, James. You are my husband. I am your queen. You are my Raystrau. I am your Izeur.
I could hear James growling in anger like he was ready to bite Diana's head off. Get off my woman, man. Get off my man. Ready to bite Diana's head off like a wolf would a small deer. Oh, that poor deer. Bambi, no. I felt myself growl quietly to myself as well. However, James pushed himself off the floor and returned to the opposite side of the room, away from the prone Diana.
I do not belong to you.
See right there.
I belong to her.
See, I belong to Fatty Vag.
The human girl? You must be joking. A human like her can't possibly provide you what you need. She's a human. You're a demon.
I felt the urge to storm in and shut her mouth. It would give away my position, but I was growing extremely tired of Diana. I could wait here, but girlfriend, I'm going to teach you a thing or two. This is my man, so I'm going to barge in and set her straight. I decided to be assertive and quickly stepped into the room, throwing the door to the study wide open. Diana and James looked at me in surprise as I glared daggers at Diana. Get like the fuck out?
Well, well, little human. You're awfully nosy in business that doesn't concern you.
It does concern me, though.
Does it? I don't think a human would understand the importance of this affair.
I understand that's my dick now. You best get off, Diana. You're asking him to leave to be someone he doesn't wanna be? That's not gonna happen, okay?
Oh? And what makes you so sure about that?
Cause I love him and stuff? Diana stared in shock at my exclamation. Was it not what she expected? I didn't care what she expected. I wasn't going to lose the man I'd grown to love.
You... love him?
Yes, I love him. Why wouldn't I? Step off, bitch. Diana's lips twitched, the edges curling into an amused smirk as she stared at me.
So what? A human's love isn't enough to understand the situation. A demon can never reciprocate human feeling.
To both of our surprise, however, James stepped forward and put an arm around me, pulling me close to his sexy, sexy man body.
I love her.
Oh, snap, girlfriend! I saw the confidence Diana had shatter in her eyes as she stared at James at his words. I could see the struggle in her face to try and find some weakness in James and me in anything. Look at that face, crushed. Get your own man, bitch.
A demon love a human? Impossible.
It's only impossible because you don't have the capability to love.
Burn.
This woman has given so much to shelter me and my brothers and has given me her heart to cherish. I'd rather care for this woman for the rest of my days than spend an eternity on the demon throne. Especially if the queen is you.
Diana took a step back, physically feeling the sting of James' words in her chest. In her boobs? Oh, my boobs are sore. I'll kiss them better, Diana, don't worry. She had lost, she lost. I could see it in her eyes. That's right. Get your own man. Diana's eyes grew dull as she glared at me and James. It seemed almost uncharacteristic of her, yet it was something I wasn't surprised to see come from her face.
Very well. Fine. Valet.
Poof. And with that, Diana faded into the ground into a purple pentagram, crossing her arms and looking upset. James and I were left alone, left with the silence of the room. I finally let out the air. Oh, it feels better. I was unconsciously holding in my chest. Oh, chest, not rectum. Relaxing from the ordeal, James stepped to me and held me gently, surprising me.
Are you okay?
I nodded in response, unable to speak so immediately after being surprised. James let out a sigh, relaxing in the embrace. I gently placed my hands around him, returning the embrace slightly. I could hear James' heartbeat. Oh my God, boy times. He held me in his arms, and I felt safe beyond words.
I wasn't lying, you know.
I looked up at James, wondering what he meant by when he said that. Girl, it means he loves you. James smiled down at me, moving a strand of my hair from my face to look down at me.
I love you. I love every single fiber of you. Your mind, your body, your soul. You're quite possibly the most interesting woman I have ever met. You always find your way into my mind.
He said he loves every single fiber? That means he likes my butt hairs too? Suck on that, Diana. I stared wide-eyed, blushing like a maniac. How does a maniac blush? Was this real? No way! This couldn't be real. Was James confessing to me? Confessing his love for me? James gently smiled and caressed my cheek. The warmth of his hand invited me to nuzzle into it. What am I, a pony? Give me some sugar cubes. Give me your lady lumps. I closed my eyes. This wasn't a dream. My heart was pounding to the point where I was sure James could hear it. James gently leaned in, closing his eyes. He stopped, however, remaining just a mere torturous inch away from my lips. He wanted me to show my feelings for him. He had left himself open for me to kiss him or leave him empty. The power I had was unbelievable. Well, I could caress his cheek or kiss him. We're going for it. I loved him and wanted to give him exactly what he wanted. Fatty Vag. That's me. I gently leaned in, letting my lips finally touch his gingerly. James let out an almost pleasured purr against my lips before wrapping both of his arms around my waist, pulling me close to him. I moved my arms up and around his neck, feeling the kiss between us deepen to a heated height. My chest was pounding, boobs heaving, making me feel and see fireworks in my mind. James was everything I desired. He's just like the perfect demon boy for me. He was the man I wanted, demon or not. It was all so supernatural to fall in love with someone so quickly. That or you're being a whore. Maybe it was the sense magic I was thrown into. Maybe it was Cupid playing with my heart. Either way, I found myself melting in my loins at the thought of him being here with me. Oops, did I go wrong? That's not what I meant to do. His tongue gently danced with mine as one of his hands slid up my back, and cradled my head. He gently leaned my body back, making me cling to him as the heat of our kiss rose higher and higher. Gently, though, James slowed the kiss down and pulled away, staring down at me. His eyes burned for me, wanting me to melt and buckle in my arms, or his arms. I could feel myself melt already. James opened his mouth to speak, but as a very small blush ran along his cheeks, he was reduced to shy silence. I stared as he tried to find the words to say in my eyes. I knew exactly what he wanted. My fatty vag. He didn't need energy, though, right? Like, are you?
No,
I stared wide-eyed, feeling a blush on my cheeks grow. He didn't say anything more, but I knew what words would have followed if he continued. He wanted me. All the boys want some of this. I was stunned. Was I that appealing to him? Was this passion really that deep for me? Is he going to go balls deep in me? James gently lifted his head and kissed my forehead, losing the blush and finally being able to speak.
If you don't want to, we don't have to.
Sex and times. I could feel my mind go numb and purr at the idea. A moment with an incubus, he was a demon of sex. What if he really sucks at it, though? The purest form of lust and desire. My world would rock, and I would enjoy every second of it. At the same time, I was indeed inexperienced. Diana was wrong when she claimed to be innocent. Did I want to give that innocence to him? Especially this early? Yes, pop my cherry, James. I found myself forgetting the words yes and no. What could I say to him? I knew then what I wanted, but how to say it without breaking the moment? Well, I could say let's just hold and hug and cuddle. But I'm pretty sure everyone, or most people, want to get to the sexy times. Seduce me, James? Put your demon boner in me. I couldn't believe the two words that had come out of my mouth. Seduce me. That is the title of the thing, after all. It made the most moistest sense to him to tell him yes. I needed him. I wanted his demon boner. The two words must have made something in him finally break. James quickly resumed the kiss with me, to which I eagerly kissed back and pulled him closer to my body. The heat inside my chest was craving his touch, and I needed to deny any space between us. James lowered a hand and brought one of my legs around his waist. Oh dear! As he lowered the other hand to my waist, without breaking the kiss, I gripped to his shoulders and jumped off my feet, wrapping both of my legs around him and making him hold me up. So he's like, let me get some access. She's like, no, legs spread, violate my vagina hole. His touch kept raising my need for him higher and higher, bringing my mind to the desire that was buried in the back of my mind. James held me close, kissing me deep and making me moan against his lips. I could feel our bodies sink into the ground, noticing a gentle glow penetrate. That's not all that's going to get penetrated, son. Through my closed eyelids. I fucking what? Before I could open my eyes, however, I felt our bodies fall into a familiar feeling bed with James landing on top of me. I stared at James as he pulled his face slowly away from mine. His eyes were almost glowing in the dark room, piercing into my soul and making me shiver in anticipation. Like, I can't wait until you pierce into my vagina with your demon boner. He effortlessly removed his gray sweater? Words are hard. I would hope it wouldn't be that hard for him to take off the sweater. And his red tie, leaving him in his tight-fitted white button-up over me. I could practically feel the heat of his skin through the thin fabric. However, as he held me, I could slightly feel the shiver of his hands. Was he nervous? Was I his first? He's a demon virgin, oh my. He wasn't going to show it. He wanted me to enjoy this moment, but was afraid of screwing up. It's alright. James, it's okay. Everybody gets performance anxiety. It's perfectly natural, dude. His shivering hands showed me his emotions perfectly. Just remember to put it in the right hole. I reached up gently and brought his head down, kissing him once again. I wanted him not to worry. The pleasure between us would be heavenly, and we'd go through it together. I closed my eyes and gave myself to James. Take my vagina, James. My body, my soul, my mind, it all belonged to him as he held me. His body, his mind, his soul, it all belonged to me as I gave into his embrace. His kisses and fingers all over my skin would forever engrave themselves into my memory as our passion rose through incredible heights. Our breaths and moans to each other, oh, James, equally sounded an echo like a blissful chant we never wished to end. I wonder if any of the other brothers walked by and are like, that's awkward. We kept moving, loving, feeling every inch of our bodies until we had enough and I was enveloped in his embrace. Skin to skin, heartbeats matching, we held each other in the glow of the aftermath. That means we jizzgasmed. I nuzzled my head under James's chin, and he held me close.
I love you so much.
Like, I love you too. Especially the part when you made me do lady comms. Just to hear those words come from James' mouth made my heart flutter. To hear me answer made my soul warm in glee. Her soul is like, yay! I could feel both of us sink into a peaceful sleep together. It was the best sleep I had in days, and I was happy. She don't like meat, but she sure liked the demon bone. She got some finally, so step off, Diana. James is mine, along with his demon dick. Wonder if we're gonna have babies. She's like, I'm gonna name my babies. Well, that's gonna be the end of this episode. We scored James the Demon Boy, former Demon Prince. Next time we'll see where it goes from here. I had fun. I hope you did too. Take it easy, everybody.